Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the Nerd Related Podcast.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How you doing, B?
Dog, I feel old as shit. I was texting you earlier. Like, obviously I'm a big dude. Your body's not meant for this, but I just feel like I have a moving pain, dog. I just wake up, my back hurts. I'm like, oh, my back is sore. I got a new bed, so I'm trying to adjust to it. We went from a flimsy one to a firm one, so that's probably why. Then I wake up, my back's okay, and then my hip hurts. And then my hip don't hurt no more. My knee hurts. I partially tore my MCL or my meniscus or some shit. It's just never healed. So it'll start hurting today. That shit hurt. And it's just like a revolving door of lower body soreness. It was tough sitting because I sit down. So like obviously that contributes. I'm not as active, so it contributes to my weight in general. But like the more I sit, like the more hip or below shit feels kind of off. Today was just not the day.
Well, you can tell I'm slim fit.
Hey, look at you over there. Man,
Nah,
it's
man.
tough when Freddie looks better than you do.
Dude, but, dude, but because I just switched jobs, whatever. I don't really talk about my personal stuff too much, guys. But so I just switched jobs, and I was doing like more physical, like where I was at. You know what I'm saying? But now it's only been a couple of days, since I've been at the other place. But standing that forklift, I don't know. If you first of all, you're like it's tight on a stand up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta you're standing like a fucking and then the opening's on one side, so most of your weight's on that foot, and then there's a brake there that you gotta hold down the whole time because if you let it go, the whole thing stops. So the whole time, most of my weight's on my left leg. You know what I'm saying? Like waking up and I'm like, oh man, I thought you got this.
I mean, it
Yeah,
changes because before you were on the ground, like you were
yeah,
moving, but you're on the ground. Now it's probably a lot of, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
bouncing
but yeah,
around
but
and
then in that the left foot though, like it has to be like you
planted.
know it in your head,
Yeah.
like you're not thinking about it, but you just have steady pressure on that foot
Yep.
for 12 hours. You know, what I'm saying like that.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, I used to work warehouse jobs too with Josh at the beginning when I first moved back here. Forklift, stands up, like those stand up jacks, all that shit. A lot of bouncing around. It's annoying.
Hopefully my body. Well, obviously our bodies will like our bodies are amazing, but it'll get used to it. Every job I've ever had, like it's crazy how your body adjusts. Like you, for a couple of days, you be like, "Oh shit," and then
Yeah.
eventually, you're like, you know what I mean? Our bodies are amazing that way.
Yeah. Today, Farley, who's done, we used to have a sports podcast, which hopefully one day we can get back to that. But today he was at work talking about, he wasn't talking to me, but he sits like really close. And he was like, have you ever heard of grounding to like just out loud, to his team who sits in my same
Oh yeah,
row?
I wanted to try that.
So then I was like, so he was listening to a podcast about like health because he's on this health kick, like weightlifting and shit. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, so grounding is basically not wearing shoes, right? Like connecting with the earth, and it's supposed to like take the negative charge out of your body into the ground. I'm sure it's more technical than that, but that's what I got from his conversation. So his team's kind of like not really paying attention. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So then I was like, bro, that's probably true because it's probably something we lost because we wear shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like it was probably something that legit happens, but because our society wears shoes, um, it makes total sense to me. I didn't really look it up, but without knowing nothing about it, I almost would put my money on the fact that that's probably true. Like if you stand barefoot enough time and like focus on releasing that, it probably does go into the ground.
Yeah, I watched a video about that before. Like you're supposed to like 20, 30 minutes a day, just sandwich your feet in the grass or on dirt or something, and just stand, and just chill. I was like, I mean, it's not, we're one with nature. Say, hey, like it's a real thing, circle of life or whatever it is. We become the earth, and when we bury people in boxes now. So no, but you
Right.
know what I'm saying. Like, we're supposed to like we will become fertilizer. You know what I'm saying? Like, lions are eating rabbits one day, but next day the rabbits gonna be eating them because they're fertilizing the grass stuff. We're all one with this The universe.
Not where we usually intend the podcast to go, but I thought it was interesting.
Come on, for sure, man. Sure.
It's
Hey,
interesting. I mean, I
whatever.
get it. Like when I do have
Infrastructure.
my feet, when I have my feet in the sand all day, when you're like on vacation or like if you're out, you feel it feels different. Like it feels different. I don't know how else to describe it other than different, but it's
Right, put your
probably why
mind.
you recharge,
Peace.
right? When you're like on vacation and you go to like a beach or you're outside hanging out, that's probably where the recharge comes from.
Yeah, man, and you feel it at ease. You know what I'm saying? Like one with the universe for a little bit, maybe. You know.
I mean, this whole 8 hour, 12-hour work day is, made up shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's made by big people to get rich. Dude, why is there a weekend? Why is there only 2 days off? We could work 3 days a week, and that's what it should be. You know what I'm saying? Like this,
Dog,
it's just.
so I heard something wild. So Lee's son graduated middle school.
Mhm.
So I don't have no kids, so I'm not in this world, and you do. So maybe this isn't new to you, but it was new to me. So I was like, oh, so it was a graduation or whatever. And he was like, well, they don't call it that no more. I'm like, what the hell do they call it? He was like, they call it a promotion. And I'm like, yo,
What?
I was like, well, first off, I mean, we're gonna go real off the wall here for a little bit. Like schools were designed for you to just get used to that, 8 hour day
Oh yeah, for sure,
work.
for
That's
sure.
why you don't get homeschooled. That was kind of the system that was put in place. But if we're now gonna call graduations promotions, now for sure, like you just getting in, like
Bro,
it's not that
that
big of
ain't
a
happened
celebration.
here
You just
yet.
got promoted.
That ain't happened here yet, but that sounds ridiculous.
A promotion. I thought it was interesting.
But dude, everything kids do gets you ready to
Oh yeah, for sure.
give everybody money.
Join in
Dude,
on the
down to candy. We had candy cigars, beef jerky, chewing tobacco, candy cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? And then Chuck E. Cheese. What does Chuck E. Cheese do?
gamble.
It promotes gambling.
Yeah.
It turns you into a little goddamn gambler. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting you ready.
I mean, video
Everything in
games now are
society is
doing that
getting you
too.
ready to make the money.
Yeah.
We're nothing to like the bigger. We're all ants or we're whatever they want us. That's what we are. Everything. School gets you ready to sit in a fucking room for 8 hours, do what you're told, shut up, and listen to one person.
It's
Just like your
interesting.
job. You go in the building for 8 hours, there's one person tells you what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like everything in this world is getting you ready.
That is definitely why it was created that way. Like no one can say that it wasn't. There's benefits to it, like everything, but if we were really trying to get society ready, you would learn different things. And I'm not saying all schools are like that, but like there are schools that
Learn real world shit. We don't
yeah.
learn real world shit.
Yeah. If you're not learning how to balance your like money in your bank account and like the dangers of credit and credit card, like you're not really getting ready. But I digress. I just thought it was interesting. The word promotion. This was in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, y'all. Let us know in the comments if you guys are hearing that or something similar because it's interesting. I don't have children, so whatever, but
I'll take my kid out of school.
I always thought it was interesting what that looks like. Homeschooling is, I know people that have been homeschooled and they say it's just better. You can get through all of it quicker. Like you don't spend as much time on it. You can enjoy,
Well, yeah, because
childhood.
a teacher has 30 to 40 kids.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know what I'm saying?
It's hard.
And you don't
But
get
who
that
the
one
hell
out.
has time to homeschool? Like
Oh,
to the
yeah, that
homeschool
too. Yeah,
kids.
because they're too busy being slaves.
Listen, bro, the like rent cost. I know you guys typically don't tune into our podcast to listen about real world stuff, but more, the fantastical world of nerdom that we go through. But the rent prices, as you can attest to, are insane, dog. Like I don't know how people are out here living on part-time jobs. It's super scary to me. $1,000 car payments, $1,500 houses in the hood. Like I have no idea what is going on right now. It's
Well, I mean,
just
what can we
wild
do?
to me.
We can't do nothing about it.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, there's no
We ain't making
end
more
to it.
money. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. So
Yeah.
I feel like this kind of segues into the world in Silo. So I think we should start with Silo today, just because we usually leave it for the end. So we're gonna start at the beginning here, because the last episode was absolutely fire
Well, that was the best episode yet,
for
obviously.
sure. For
And
sure.
you want a show to get better as it goes, but we all know that don't happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? The best episode could be wherever, but the best episode was their last episode by far. Like
It was
every
crazy.
question I had answered is almost been answered now, besides one.
What question hasn't been answered?
Oh, is outside really fucked up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because people just going out there and leaving don't, you know, that don't tell me shit. Especially now, you know that they're watching everything, and you know they have technology far better than what you thought they had. You know what I'm saying? Because we thought they had like you're saying they had old computers like we had like in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? Like running Oregon Trail, but then you see that they have this 30 screen system. You know what I'm saying? And they're got cameras everywhere.
I
So
mean, interesting episode. So before this episode, we ended the one we reviewed when I was at Ray's house was she found a hard drive, right? Um, the lady in the hospital was awake. It was kind of more like a slight discovery episode. We found out Sims was the janitor, you know, went into the janitor room, had access to all the cameras. You and I have debated if Sims is the main guy this whole time. And in this episode, we see he definitely is not the main guy, but he has a lot of pool. So we got that question answered, like who is behind
dude, I did not
what's
think
going on and why.
I did not think that twist was coming.
No, it was interesting. It was interesting. I mean,
I was
it
like,
makes sense
oh,
though. It
hey,
makes
but
sense.
when it was coming, I knew. But I mean, the whole time in the episode, I didn't think so.
No,
But
once you seen him, once you see the mayor and he's like, "Oh, let's go talk." Right at that point, you're like, "Oh yeah, he's about to
yeah,
betray her."
yeah.
Yeah, he's about to betray her. But
Hey, dude, this show is the epitome of keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
yeah,
Like, dude, like he was playing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he said, well, this lady, you know, obviously she ain't gonna be for none of this. Let me stay as close to her as possible and work the other angle. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole time you think because I remember after the last episode, the one before this, you're like, no, he seems like a good dude. Like he wants to get, you know, oh,
yeah.
man,
He
hey,
seems like a good
I was
dude.
like, oh, this guy's good.
He
He is
seems
good.
like a good dude.
Yeah, man, this show, yeah, man, super good. I was gonna say, the guy I was texting you about it. That kind of first of all, I don't know, guys, if you've seen this episode yet. So the guy
Which guy?
falling for the chick, and I think
Oh
she
yeah,
pretty
I
much
don't remember his name. I feel like he's kind of insignificant, but not
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
but
time.
yeah, because he's been, you know, he's there in bits and pieces, and he was in a big part of this episode. So he likes the chick, and I think she likes him a little bit too. So a couple episodes ago, he kissed her, and she was like, "Whoa," you know, he said, "Oh my bad," you know. He thought they were feeling it. So then she goes to him and starts asking him for help, and then he realizes while she was talking to him that the reason why she became a cop, she's doing everything because she's trying to find out what happened to her dead
The
boyfriend.
George, yeah.
So
What
dude was like,
happened to George?
dude. So with all this, dude, there's so much shit going on. She's saying she needs this guy's help, like real bad for real. And he's like,
Who's
oh,
George?
so yeah, I was your other guy type dude. Like, bro, if you're that type of guy in the world, man, dude, get help. Get help for real. Like, number one, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? Number two, no, dude, no woman is gonna get attracted by you talking down on another man. You gotta be yourself and come with it. When he first did that, I was like, what a simp. This guy is a lame. Number one, the guy's dead. And she didn't know you, and they had a relationship. The first thing I would have done was like, oh damn, like I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be for empathy. No, this dude's like, oh, this is all about another dude. He's dead. You know what I'm saying? And then you wimp out. She shows you, she busted that one. She's like, they've been
Yeah,
watching
that was big.
camera stuff. He's like, "Oh, well, we gotta go. I gotta get." I was like, "This guy sucks." I hope he's not in another episode.
He's gonna be, because I think he's gonna help her. I think
Yeah,
ultimately he's gonna help her.
yeah, but
But
it sucks that they made him simp out first because
I
those
mean,
kind of guys are.
I think that's good to see, because it kind of ties into what we were talking about before we started talking about Silo. I love it how it just plays out that way. I promise we didn't plan this. But so everyone in the silo is indoctrinated to that culture. So, like, even if you know, he is a prime example of that. He knows something's off. He sits in the kitchen or in the cafeteria. He maps the stars. You can feel he thinks something's off and he wants to know what's going on outside. So he's kind of a free thinker already, but even him, which is why she reached out to him, right? She's running out of people she can reach out to. She knows she likes her. He's already asking the important questions people shouldn't be asking. But they're so indoctrinated in that, bro. Everyone's fear is insane. Like, the fear of the sheriffs, the deputies for Sims is crazy, bro. Like, there's a line they won't cross, but they know who's in charge, and it's not the sheriff or, whoever. It's judicial.
Well, because it's even worse in the real world. Because I mean, it's even worse than the real world because you're locked in somewhere.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go.
Outside, you can run away, you can move. People don't necessarily just come to where you're at. You know what I'm saying? You're in the silo, and you know this guy is pulled. You got to watch what the hell you're doing, man. You can wind up missing real quick.
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of jumped around a little there, but just episode recap wise. So we start with Nichols with the hard drive. She tries to open it in the nursing lab.
It won't work.
She can't because it needs an authorization, and that computer station doesn't have it. So she gets called up by Billings to the office because Judicial's tearing their shit up, looking for, the hard drive, because Sims has by now talked to the patient. I can't remember her name, but so he knows she has the hard drive. He knows the old sheriff held it there. He's trying to find it. So they're tearing stuff up, yada, yada. Billings knows the pact better than anyone there. He's won the awards for knowing the pact. So they go on and basically he's like, hey, they broke a bunch of pact rules. And he was like, oh, yeah? Nichols is a beast, dog. She ain't playing no games. She was like, oh, yeah, okay, come with me. So they walk up into Judicial and they arrest Sims for not following the pact and states the pact. And Sims is like, you serious right now? Because the dude is a straight up G. He ain't playing no games.
Oh, man.
So he was like, okay, all right, you're going to regret this, but all right. And then we start unraveling a lot of the mystery of the hierarchy within the silo, why they fear, Sims that much, and ultimately why the mayor, what the hell is his name?
I suck with names.
I know,
with
but
anything. I know the actor's name. I just don't know that the character's name.
I think it's Bernard. Bernard is so Bernard's a mayor. Which leads to what Ray was talking about, where you at that point in the episode, you kind of feel like, oh, okay, this guy. But even then, you don't know if he's just reporting to Sims, or he's clearly involved, but you don't know who, to what extent. But once that's all revealed and Bernard is the guy, like I told you briefly here a couple minutes ago, it makes sense why he's the guy. It would make sense why the IT person would be the main person.
Yeah.
The keeper of information, the one that is able to see what is looked at, what isn't, what's unlocked, what isn't unlocked.
The doctoring of footage of people dying.
Right, yeah. Like any screens that would happen, any particular technology that's being used. Once that was said, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a ton. Like that, I can see why the founding, members of the silo would be like, this is where, that the power will be.
Dude, it's so insane though. When her mom made that, what was it? A telescope or not
the magnifying glass. Yeah.
No, but it's called something else when you look down. Not telescope because telescope looks up, right?
It's not a telescope. It's not a microscope either, though. A similar concept.
Microscope. Yeah. And
it's like a magnifier.
I'm like, what the heck? Like, is that bad? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a purple dude, she couldn't even make like. It's not like it was a damn iPod or something. You know what I'm
Well, we
saying? It's like,
know we know magnifying glasses are illegal though, because in previous episode, remember they were trying to find to read the writing on the hard drive, and there he was like, I don't have, you can't have a magnifier or whatever. So we know it's a thing, and why it's a thing, probably for that, right? Like being able to see little insignias on certain items or anything that might be written anywhere, probably get you thinking about other things.
I got you, but she did it for like a good reason. You know what I'm saying? To like help her husband, like who's a doctor or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like help. And I don't know. I get it, honestly, but I mean, that's how crazy they were. And dude, the way she hit it when she had it like in
Nah,
different
that
pieces,
was
I was
that
like,
was fire.
what?
She had it in plain. They would never found it. They would have never found it. There's no way they would have found
I
it.
thought she had like in multiple pieces. Like she was taking out like two
She
different
did.
things.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, she
They
the
would have
queen of
never
Hollywood
found it,
shit.
bro. It was,
I was
and
thinking to
even
myself, I was like, oh, it's not even in an apartment. It can't be like, what does she have hidden? This she came out like James Bond or something. Had like
I mean,
multiple tubes.
again, for more answers. So Bernard's in charge. Judicial reports to him. Basically, we find
Mm-hmm.
out why Nichols doesn't like why she didn't like her dad. Like what happened with her dad. Why her mom died. Um, a lot of answers this episode for sure. But it was interesting because her and her mom both believed her dad had snitched on her, dog. And it wasn't until they arrest Sims that
Well, I mean,
she
what
knew.
else? What else? What else would you believe?
Right?
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they don't know nothing else.
Hey, the dad's a real one. I'm like, man, no, no. See, I wasn't no liar. Y'all been calling me a liar for 30 damn years. You don't even talk to me no more. Save it. Save it.
So that's definitely interesting. Cameras, 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 cameras.
No, 2 more episodes, man. Where is this gonna go?
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
Revolution, baby. It's got.
Yeah, the
They
sparks
talked
of
about it before.
revolution are turning.
They had one before.
Yeah, and it started at the bottom. So the sparks, and you could tell that it's turning because she was on her way to see her friend, whatever the mechanical lady is at the bottom, but she never arrives because she tells her dad, "Hey, let what's her face know I'm coming." Um, and she gets the message and she starts looking at the time and she's like, she's not here yet, blah blah blah. But it basically the episode ends with, well, what do we do now? And
Didn't that lady? And we got she was on a hard drive still, right? Only the old lady knows right now.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You could tell by her face that she was reading some shit. You know what I'm saying? But nobody else knows right now.
so
And what's that sickness called? Like, dude, she's scared to leave her area.
oh yeah,
You know what I'm
she doesn't
saying?
want to leave her area at all.
I thought it was like glorophobia or something. It's a real thing. I've seen a couple movies on it, and that's scary. Like, I can feel for them people.
The biggest, no, for sure. I mean, imagine how long she's been in that room. You know what I'm
20
saying?
years.
Like, it would be
20
insane
years.
to leave. Like, it would just be insane.
Because that girl, remember when she was like talk about not giving up and stuff like that? She's like, you got some nerve talking about whatever. You've been locked in this room for 20 years. She hasn't left that room in 20 years. Imagine sitting in your house for 20 years.
Crazy. Crazy.
Dog, you'd come visit me sooner or later, and I'm dead. I'd be hung myself. Dude, that's insane. And it's not like the little house, something like that. It's like she didn't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a room. It's a room.
But that's all they know is that damn silo shit. Like, I couldn't live in no silos.
I mean, they're born into it, right? Like, yeah, you're born into it. It's all you know.
Yeah.
And then the biggest part of the episode is once they reveal Bernard is that dude, Sims is out of jail. The judicial's on top, looking at Juliet on Nichols. And then they say, what's that? You want to go outside?
Yep. They're about to send her ass outside.
Boy, what's that? You said you want to go outside? Oh, yep. I heard you heard that, Sims, right? Yep, I heard it. Everybody else heard it. So now it's like 6 people saying she said she wanted to go outside, and Billings ain't believing it. or Billings is believing it because Nichols is like, I didn't say shit. He's lying.
Yeah.
And then
But why would he believe that after all the shit he's been
I
finding out?
know, especially after he just saw that, that Sims was on some BS. It doesn't make necessary. But again, this is what happens when you're indoctrinated. Like you're in it, boy. Like this is what everything that they do on a day-to-day basis revolves around the rules of the silo. There is no alternative, and there are massive consequences for going against it. So I understand it, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating. And then Juliet's like, once you said, because dude has the illness or whatever, he's shaking. They get
Yeah.
that in the
Oh,
silo.
yeah. I see the next couple episodes him dying or something.
Yeah, something's happening for sure. So, boy, once he starts shaking, she takes off running, grabs the bag, and just jumps off the side of the silo. And that's how it ends. And you're like, what?
I was like, what? Me and my girl were both like, that's how it's gonna end.
I know. Now you got to wait till Friday. Are you kidding me?
I
Bro,
was pissed.
bro.
Bro,
The
but
next week's episode is going to be good. It's going to be good. Because
next
now, even if a lot of action doesn't happen, because this one was the most action-packed episode so far. Like they were chasing her the whole time, people getting beat up, arrested. I think we take a step back from the action, and next week is gonna be what's on the hard drive, what's below the water. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to figure out answering some more questions.
I was hoping that, because that chick came and saw the old lady and she's like, have you seen Nichols? She supposed to be here like, 30 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been cool to see her friend come to her aid or something like that. And then we start, start the revolution. And then Bernard was talking about that generator don't run nothing or don't do nothing, right? Something like that. He's like, we control everything up top or something like that, right?
I mean, they control everything. The generator controls the electricity. So
because he was saying something like it don't matter or something, right?
I don't know. I don't remember that part.
I'm confused. I remember he was saying something to her about like this stuff don't, y'all don't matter, or this don't matter, something like that. I can't remember exactly what he was saying. It was like it was his last episode because he finally came that he was the dude. But
at the end of the day, once they find out anything that's on that hard drive, the flames of rebellion will start. But we're not going to see that this season, dog. Great news is this week, Apple renewed it for season 2, so we know we're not watching it in vain. As soon as that came out, I sent it to my wife, and I was like, yes, this is what I needed to see.
That's what's up.
Season 2's on the way, baby.
We need this writer's strike to end. That shit's still going, ain't it?
Yeah, I think. Let me check. I haven't heard too much about it, but I thought it was. Writer's strike. Because that's what's been making all the movies shuffle.
Dude, and that's crazy that like
yeah, they're at day 50.
What's crazy is that like big companies that could wipe their ass with the money these people are asking for are so greedy that it takes this long to fucking be like, all right, yeah, let's give them their money.
So one of the members on my team, he's actually my team lead. So he was an aspiring actor and he still does commercials. I gotta send you this link. I'll find it. He used to do. You remember Punk'd? The WWE had a version of Punk'd. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, but yeah. I seen an episode where like John Cena popped out on some of that shit.
Yeah, so he was on an episode where they were like punking Seth Rollins, bro. And he was the dude punking him. It was awesome. But he's done like plays and he helps coach people. So he's talking to me. He talks to us about it all the time. And he like does team activities for us that he learned during that time. They're usually pretty fun.
Okay.
So anyway, so we were talking about, I don't know what the hell we were talking about. We ended on this because we were talking about AI and the future of AI, and how it's changing the way that we sell and how we need to adapt to it. Like just, how the world is changing because of this new technology. And then he was talking, he equated it to after COVID, like before COVID, you had to go in to audition for roles. Like you physically had to be there. It would take you hours to get there. It'd be like a 5-minute audition. You leave, they'll be like, oh, we'll call you or we won't. He's like, now everything's on your phone. You just record your audition, you send it in, and then they give you feedback and let you know if you got it or not. So because he was talking about that, I mentioned the writer's strike. And he was like, you know what that's really about, right? And I was like, I mean, I assume they want more money. And he was like, well, It's like the money's a part of it, but it's not the important part. What they're fighting about, he says, is AI. Is the fact that you can use AI to make a script, to make a movie, and like cut them out of it completely. So they're trying to negotiate what the terms of that would look like. That's what the Writers Association's for, right? Like otherwise,
Yeah,
the
you gotta
more
protect
AI
them.
learns and can do it, the less of a job they're all gonna have.
Yeah, I see something along with the AI thing, not along the lines, but AI. Some guy was cooking and doing like cooking. He asked AI to make him uh a recipe,
Boy, I wish you were here on. So I had to
and
get together on
he cooked
Saturday.
the recipe the computer made for him. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So on Saturday we had a few of the fellows come over, our first summertime get together. Ray didn't get a chance to come through, but we're talking about AI. Dude, the shit you can ask, ChatGPT's the best one. It's further along, but I think it's because more people use it and it needs to be used so that it can learn.
Yep.
Like Google's Bard isn't as used, and you can ask it stuff and it gives you useful shit. Like I'll ask it to make me a script and it would do it. It'll give me a format or an outline of things. But like if you ask it to do more complex things, it's kind of awful. But it's like version 1. It takes time to learn. Chat GPT's like on Chat GPT 4, going on 5, like it's learning. So you can tell this thing so many like you can say, I want you to create a eating plan where I only eat 2,000 calories a day and I want it to cost me under $200 a week. And it will not only give you what to eat, you can have an Instacart add-on to ChatGPT and it'll order it for you, my guy. And you can do all that shit at one time, bro. And then you just order it through Instacart, gets to your door, and you just follow the plan. That's just a small example of like, it's just crazy, dog. It's so crazy.
Next thing you know, man, AI is gonna take over the drones. We're gonna be getting bombed. There's gonna be skeleton metal men with laser guns. You gonna see? Y'all gonna see? I don't like it.
So, I mean, obviously, like everyone, you gotta take drastic measures when you feel like you're being underpaid. You either have a conversation
Mm-hmm.
and see if they give you more money. You do it either individually as a group or you change jobs, right? Like I feel underpaid, undervalued. I'm gonna go upgrade, go somewhere else. So I'm sure the writers want to cut. There's more money going around, right? So they want to cut, but this feels more alarming, right? Like if I can be replaced, that's more alarming than anything.
Yeah, but I was reading it too. It's also more the streaming shit because you got paid a lot more for syndication and movies. You know, now it's a lot of streaming stuff, so the money ain't right there. So a lot of people have problems with the way they're getting paid from streaming programs and stuff too.
It's very interesting.
I
50 days
understand.
is a long time. This is moving a lot of shit. Like the last writer strikes we had killed TV shows, bro. There were shows we talked about this in the past.
Yeah,
Like this shit could kill a lot of the stuff going on.
but I understand too. Hey, the writers got to get with it though too, because you got to understand, man. Times are changing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when change comes, you better be ready for the change. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, get ran over or get left behind. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to understand, like stream is different. You know what I'm saying? There's not as many commercials. You know what I'm saying? And then TV used to be like 6, 7 channels people will watch. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like that no more. You know, so y'all got to get with it. You know what I'm saying? We got streaming services. We got AI now. We don't need y'all to write no scripts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
what you need is a proofreader. It's crazy because like there's a gaming company. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. I had to search it. But so like in January, they fired the majority of their writers. Like they have a website and they do reviews and create gaming articles, right? Like that's what their business is. So they fired all these people and then they turned to AI to not only create the articles, but now it's pumping out like 200 articles at a time, like way faster than people would do it. And they have like just a couple people that proofread them and kind of change because you have to like shape it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
just post what it gives you. At least not yet. And they're just humming along, bro, with like 40 less people on their staff. So
just raking all that cash in, whatever it is.
It's scary, dog. It is scary. I'm trying to see like
That
what
is
has
crazy.
all been delayed.
Well, Blade super delayed.
There's what has been impacted by the show so far. When was this posted?
Thank God for Ryan Reynolds, because Deadpool is going to come out 6 months earlier than it was supposed to, because he don't worry about writers. He wrote the script. So hats off to Ryan Reynolds, man, and owning your own shit and doing your own shit.
So there are shows that
there
are shows that made it. So like The Rings of Power season 2. I never finished season 1. Did you? I know you're a Lord of the Rings guy. I didn't finish the first season.
Loved it.
So that was already in production, so they didn't have to worry about it. House of Dragons season 2, the Game of Thrones spinoff, is already going into production, so that it didn't affect them either. But it has affected some other stuff. I guess Walking Dead, Interview with the Vampire season 2. I didn't even know that was a series. Abbott Elementary season 3. My wife loves that show. It's a comedy. I've never watched it, but she'd be dying laughing when she watches it. American Dad season 20. American Horror Story. Andor season 2. That's a big one for us nerds out here.
Strike, Seth MacFarlane is gone.
What do you mean?
He's done.
Yeah, he's stepping away from American Dad. Yeah, he's not doing it. I don't know, but what else is on here? Andor's big one.
I think they're to keep going though. He don't own it. He don't own it.
No, he doesn't. No, yeah. Billion season, final season, Blade you mentioned.
What
else?
See, Blade's fucked, man, because they were already bouncing around.
I know it was bad. This might kill it. They might have to recast Blade. It's taking too long.
He's getting pissed.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I don't know how he is personally. It don't seem like he's that way, but you know, because he's been getting big time. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably feeling like, hey man, I ain't gonna be fucked around here. You know, but also you don't want to lose that Marvel money, because you know if you're in Blade,
you definitely don't.
They got some stuff coming down the line. You're gonna be in some other.
There's
stuff.
Gonna be a multiple project contract. Speaking to that real quick before I finish this list. So I think it was Elizabeth Olsen, or maybe it was Brie Larson. But one of the two ladies said you shouldn't sign a long-term deal with Marvel.
Yeah, I read that.
So like you should
shut up.
It makes sense though, because then you're limiting your earning potential. So like if you say, yeah, I'm gonna sign a 3-movie deal, that's probably okay. But if they want you for 9 movies, then the price tag is gonna be different. Like if you're an up and coming actor, I don't see why you wouldn't do that, because now you're gonna increase your
but Brian,
your status.
That's what I'm saying, dude. She could save that shit because she was nobody. Marvel movies made her, and then after you're made,
but that's why she can say it.
That's why
she can say it. She's like, how
she
further?
Can.
Yes, she can. Because how further could she be now?
Hey, let's tell other people trying to come up, not do what I did to come up.
Well, yeah, because now she's trying to show you a better way to make money. How many movies was Elizabeth Olsen in? I don't know how many she's in.
That's what I'm saying, Marvel. But trying to show me a better way. What do you mean? You're telling me not to take the route that you took?
Yeah, because the fact of the matter is, I probably got paid the amount that you would get paid if you do what I'm telling you to do for 3 movies for all of the 15 movies I was in.
No, because dude, she wasn't in shit. She wasn't doing shit.
It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day,
people that are doing shit, if they get a chance,
your agent's job to be like, what should you do? And the fact of the matter is, they take advantage of the younger actors for that purpose. I'm gonna give you a long.
That's not taking advantage though. They ain't doing shit. She wasn't doing shit.
It is taking advantage of them.
Like say Anthony Mackie, he's talking about Marvel movies. Dude, you weren't doing shit. You ain't shit.
It still doesn't matter.
After the Marvel movies make you somebody, then you talk down and say we should have done things different. No,
when it comes to money, you should do things different. You should. You shouldn't lock yourself into a longer deal.
dog. There was nowhere.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah,
bro.
no, if you have things bubbling or you're getting into something, sure, don't do that. But if they give you a chance to sign for however many movies it is, do it because you ain't gonna do nothing else.
No, because it's different. So there's multiple layers to it. For one, if you say it's a 9-movie deal, I think Tom Holland's deal turned into like a 9-movie deal. So when that happens, until your first contract's over, you're basically sitting around waiting. Even if you blow up, you can't really do shit because you're at Marvel's beck and call. Whenever they need you to do something, you have to come in. So the amount of money Elizabeth Olsen would have made compared to what she did make would have been higher.
Doing what?
Marvel movies. It doesn't even have to be any other movies. It literally could be with Marvel. You know what? As an agent,
but Marvel ain't gonna do that.
They would do it if everyone says this is what we're doing. Like, not everyone signs a super long multiple movie deal. Like, sometimes they don't even know what the story is going to be that far ahead in advance. So, like, that's what she's saying, and it makes total sense. It would be like if I said,
I know what you're saying.
Huh?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
she's right.
Say she sat there and she was like, no, I don't want to sign a deal for for all of them. Let's do it one movie at a time. They would be like, get out of here.
No, they wouldn't do one movie at a time. And you probably couldn't get that done, but you can do like 3 movies at a time. Like, they have an overall plan for a character, but it's no different than corporations that you work for now. Like, this is why we continue to stay at the bottom. Like, if you don't know your worth, or you can't see into the future of what you might be worth, they're just gonna keep taking advantage of you. That's all she's saying, right? Like, if I sign a 10-movie deal versus a 5-movie deal, then on my next 5-movie deal, I can have a better deal.
I don't agree with it.
It's just economics, my boy. Economics.
No, that's wrong. Like, yes, sir, in a classical sense or anything else, yeah, but this is the entertainment industry. Do you see the only people that are saying these kind of things are people that ain't shit or weren't doing shit?
Well, yeah, because the people that were doing shit would never sign those kind of deals. This is what I'm like. You're arguing and all these to her
people
point.
That did blew up off of this. The only other person that could even say anything was like Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Pratt. None of these other fucking dudes weren't doing nothing, had nothing going on, and now want to talk because Marvel made them superstars.
None of them, because Chris Pratt was a TV actor, so that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, but he was
Chris Evans
going.
Chris Evans, maybe, because he was making movies, but I mean, I don't feel like he was a huge movie star.
Yeah, there were dumpster juice.
Chris Hemsworth.
Nobody.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything he did prior to that.
Yeah, when he got cast as Thor, I didn't even know what the fuck it was.
So, like, none of them. So they all fall into that category. But Robert Downey Jr. was a drunk, bro. Like, Marvel saved his life.
No, but I'm saying he's famous though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I mean. Like, you know what I mean? He was already kind of somebody. I'm not saying he was at the time, but you know what I mean? Now, but people want to come out and talk after they're somebody.
No. So, I mean, I think age plays into it too. So, like, Tom Holland's a prime example. Like, when Tom Holland gets signed, he's still a teenager. Like, he only signed with Sony initially, I would imagine. And then that branches out to Marvel. That makes more sense because he's an old gymnast. He wasn't really doing too much acting. But, like,
well, he might have got paid more than anybody still, too.
I mean, overall, yeah. But, like, he does a lot of his stunts. That all plays into it. But the longer deal you get, the less, unless and Marvel would never negotiate, like, royalties into someone's contract that isn't a somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have to try to get what you can get. But anyway, side tangent aside, Cobra Kai's final season delayed. Daredevil Born Again delayed.
Damn.
Duster, I don't even know what Duster is. The J.J. Abrams HBO Max series.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it.
Delayed. It's with the guy from Lost, Josh Holloway.
Speaking of directors, Zack Snyder's new space movie, whatever, that shit looks pretty fire.
That looks interesting. Euphoria, Evil season 4. Have you been watching that show, Evil?
No, but we were talking about the other day. Yeah. Someone told us about it. I was like, "What? They're in their 4th season."
Fourth season. We never even heard of it till last week. FBI's Most Wanted, Family Guy, Good Omens,
a lot of shit, people.
Dude, everything, bro. There's just so many delays. even like
Severance,
even
Severance season
like
two.
talk shows and stuff, Jeopardy, the late night shows, like all that stuff's on
I know me
hold.
and my girl were trying to watch Jimmy Fallon like 2 weeks ago or something, and there's no new episodes. We're like, damn it!
Outlander,
Like, what are we watching right now?
all the
if it
old
ain't something,
stuff,
if it
all
ain't something
shit that
that's
you haven't
going,
watched before. I finished My Hero Academia.
I was just
Power
telling,
Book 2.
I was just telling some dudes on Call of Duty about Silo. He was
The
like,
list
"What?"
goes on, y'all. There's so much shit on here. Severance. I know you like Severance. I still haven't
Yeah,
watched
yep,
it, but
yep.
Severance
Wait for season
delayed.
two.
Stranger Things final season. The Last of Us 2. Mandalorian. Dude, The Penguin. It's gonna be nuts, dog. Basically everything. Everything's
Oh yeah, that
delayed.
dog, the HBO Max show is supposed to be that's supposed to be coming soon.
Wonder Man delayed. Yellow Jacket season 3 delayed.
Well, he could throw that Wonder Man movie in the trash. No one cares about him.
Yeah, so that's a quite extensive list of shit that will not be coming out for the foreseeable future. And I feel like even when they do come back, like that initial ramp up is annoying. Like some of the
Yeah.
stuff is gonna suck. Like it's just gonna be just we'll feel it more like towards the end of the year and next year, like when all this stuff is supposed to come out and everything just feels whack.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna get movies like the Justice League.
The Justice.
Holy
Speaking of the Justice League, so I want to take a second to talk about this. Ray hasn't seen the Flash yet, but he doesn't care about spoilers. So we're gonna talk about it. So brace yourself. I'll ask you for feedback, obviously, because we talked about it already. But I do have a quite extensive list of things that I want to talk about for the Flash. So let's just talk about what I liked about the Flash, because that's what I like to do. What we liked, what we disliked. So I'll start by saying that I don't feel that the movie is a train wreck. Like, it's fun. It feels more Marvel-y, like lighter, even though the story's not supposed to be light, but it feels kind of more comedic, let's call it.
It looks very
So,
bright.
yeah, brighter. So the opening act is actually pretty cool. Like CGI aside, they show how fast Barry is. And I thought it was cool. So spoilers, massive spoilers ahead, but he's ordering a sandwich and the dude's like, bro, you can't rush a good sandwich. So he's making a sandwich. So in the time the dude makes the sandwich or begins to make the sandwich, Barry's able to go from Star City, where he is, to Gotham, saves a bunch of babies and a nurse from falling from a skyscraper that's collapsing, speeds to Batman and helps him get one of the Falcone family members that has like a toxic chemical weapon, meets I won't tell you who there, but they meet someone else there, and he runs back to Central City, or yeah, to Central City, and his sandwich is barely getting done. So like, just so
That's
you
dope.
can comprehend, like how fast the fastest man alive truly is.
Yeah, he means Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Like the scene of
Spoil it up.
rescuing, the stuff was cool. Like he rescues some babies, a dog, and again, showing the speed and the planning. It shows how smart he is. He does certain things to put things into place so that he can then do it all at one time. Again, in super fast motion. We'll get to how that looks in a second. Michael Keaton doesn't miss a beat in this movie as Batman, dog. By far the best part of the movie. In a Flash movie, Batman is the best part of the movie. I mean, Batman takes over most movies, but there's supposed to be a Flash story.
All he does is win, baby. That's it.
um,
Ezra Miller's a loser anyway, so.
by far the best part of the movie. I love that he was the best part of the movie, but I also kind of hate it because it's supposed to be a Flash movie. But he killed it. At the end of this movie, there's so many scenes with him in it So for both me and Ray, we believe that Ben Affleck's Batman was a more legit interpretation of who Batman is as a skilled fighter. Just the brutality of it.
Tactician,
They
all
do a
that.
really good job in this movie showing Michael Keaton's version. Like is fire. Like I might go as far as saying that Keaton's Batman is now like my favorite version fighting of Batman, which is insane because Ben Affleck's Batman was amazing. I will say Affleck's Batman still feels more brutal because he feels meaner, but overall the stuff that they had Michael Keaton's Batman do was absolutely fire.
So legit Batman shit.
Legit, legit. Sasha Calle as Supergirl murdered it. Like she's not in the movie a lot because by the time they get her, like we're halfway through the movie, and then she's kind of around for the climax. But she's a badass. They show her strength really well, and more importantly, she's nothing like Clark. Like
Oh no.
her anger is in full display. Like when Zod tells her that he killed Clark as a baby, she is pissed and just she's no match for them because there's more of them than her. But it shows you like the CW Kara was too nice. Like she's just too nice.
Terrible.
This Supergirl, so much so that she's saying she's in talks with DC to continue being Supergirl, which is cool. But that being so different from Clark is important. That's a part of the character. And I thought they murdered that.
Yeah, because you don't need two Supermen.
Oh, why would I need somebody that's a goody two shoes, overpowered?
Yeah, Kara don't hold back.
No, she's something else. Young Barry. Barry was cool. So we get two Barrys. Everyone knew that was gonna happen. You get the Barry that we know, the twitchy one. That's super annoying. Not a fan of. But young Barry grew up with both of his parents because our Barry saves his mom, yada, yada. So that Barry is slightly less annoying. He's not twitchy. He's more social. He has friends. He feels more like Barry Allen, not like someone that's been seclused and doesn't talk to nobody. A lot of energy, no patience, which as you can imagine, will play a big role in the movie, but it gives you an opportunity to feel like older Barry is more mature and experienced, and you kind of get that feeling, which I thought was cool. How do you say cameos? Do you say camos? Like what's cameo, the proper
cameo?
So the multiverse at the climax of the movie is pretty cool. They show it different. They show kind of like different worlds and within the Speed Force, like you can see them at a distance. But it's cool. You see basically all the Supermen CGI though, right? They're not like Henry Cavill's not in the movie. It's just a CGI version of him, his likeness.
Yeah.
You see, this is not a spoiler because they talked about it, but you see Nick Cage as Superman. You see all the Supergirls. You see Jay Garrett. It was cool. It was cool to see all of that. Like the world's kind of coming together, all the Batmans, as they're living and fighting in their worlds.
So what was one of the other Batman you were telling me? You want to tell me?
Oh, so at the end, so Barry realizes he can't save his mom, right? So the main villain is the Dark Flash. It's Barry in the future that's been going back in time over and over and over, trying to save not only save his mom, but also make sure no one else dies in the process from the Justice League, for example. That's what it's supposed to be. So he ends up having to fight himself, which whatever. Missed opportunity. I'll get into that in a second.
Stupid.
So the Dark Flash is kind of the villain, but he's in the movie for like 3 minutes, which is weird. So when he decides like, oh yeah, we can't do this, right? We have to go back and change it. Like we have to go back and let her die. So then she goes and that happens, but he does change something because when it's his dad's trial and he's trying to exonerate his dad. So instead of saving his mom, he makes his dad look up so that his face is on a camera to give him an alibi. But it's the butterfly effect, right? Like you change something, something else is going to change. So that slight change changed the world he came back to. And the change that we did see was you're going to love this. So the change that we did see is when he gets back, he gets a call from Bruce, and Bruce is like, "Hey, congratulations." So he's like, "Hey, I'm pulling up. Let's chat." So he pulls up, and reporters are swarming the car. This should kind of give it away. More Playboy aspect of it. Bruce gets out the car, walks up to him. Who is it?
I don't know.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin Batman has entered the building.
That's cool though. I like
And
it.
then he was like, "You're not Bruce." And he's like, "Barry, what are you talking about?" With that big ass smile. He's the
Yeah.
more Playboy Batman. And that's kind of how it ends. There's an after credit scene. I thought it was cool. What I didn't like, Ezra Miller, we never really liked him. I was hopeful for him at the beginning because he's a huge fan of the content. Like he was like, "I'm a huge Flash fan." And when that happens, typically you feel the heart in it and it goes well. See Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. But I just can't stand him, dog. First off, he's a grimy human being. He's over here doing shit that he shouldn't be doing. I don't like his version of Barry. He's too twitchy, too much of a loner. I get you have to make it different, but it never felt real. It felt weird. And then mainly his running annoys me. Like he still has to get set to run. And it's a creative decision to do that. It's like they do it on purpose. And I know they've talked about it, but I know that it's on purpose because one, they make fun of it in the movie when he loses his speed. He's trying to run and he's doing that without the graphics. And I'm like, that's how you fucking run with them. Like I said that out loud. People are laughing at the movie theaters. Like it's awful. But young Barry doesn't do that. Young Barry just runs. He doesn't set up, which weird. But the decision to make him Hispanic. Why are we again, like we've talked about diversity over and over. It feels like weekly. Barry Allen is not Hispanic, nor does he need to be Hispanic. It doesn't really make sense. I get
Ezra Miller ain't Hispanic.
I get that we don't like whatever universe the DCU is and probably isn't the main universe, right? Like it's just like Marvel. It's an alternate and you can do whatever you want. But it's just not necessary. Like Blue Beetle's coming. We have some representation already in the DCU or the future DCU. Like I feel like it's just a cheap addition of diversity. You didn't need to do that, which is weird. And again, he's a piece of shit in general. The CGI is the most interesting part of this because it was supposedly the director says they did it on purpose.
I feel like that's a lot.
So it probably is a lie. But so the reason so it's awful. The CGI is not great. Especially the scene. I like the scene that I told you at the beginning with the babies, the dog, and a nurse. It was a cool scene, but the CGI is still bad. Like it looked bad, but the scene itself worked. But he claims that they wanted to show us when Barry's moving at high speeds, the world looks different to him. So they wanted to show us what the world looked like to Barry. Spoiler alert, the world looked awful to Barry when he
shit.
Not a good world. Ever. Not a good world. And then finally, the story, man. You know, like, even if you don't watch the comic books and you watch just the animated movies, like if you're not reading comic books or you don't know the Flash story or Flashpoint in general, this is supposed to be one of, if not the most epic Flash storyline, right? Like the scale and magnitude of Flashpoint is insane. Like we talk about the butterfly effect in the movie, they explain the multiverse in a different way than you've seen it explained. Bruce throws some spaghetti into a bow and he was like, basically each one of these strands is a version of reality. So like, some of them are parallel to each other. Some of them intersect. Some of them never intersect. So when they intersect, that means that there are moments or people that are the same. So it's just like a convoluted. It was a cool explanation, something new, right? I like that too. But in the story, like there's just so much potential. So just go watch Flashpoint Paradox if you don't want to read any comic books. But ultimately, Barry saves his mom and changes the past so much that the future is so fucked up that an entire timeline can no longer exist because of his changes. So in this movie, he goes back to save his mom, and we never see who killed his mom. Never talked about, never seen. It's not even in the story, dog. He saves her by putting a can of tomatoes that she forgot in her at the grocery store, so his dad never leaves, and she doesn't die. But we don't get to see the Reverse Flash. It's not mentioned who kills his mom. Like it's just nothing. It was nothing.
I don't want to see this movie anymore.
So like love Michael Keaton. I love him. It like the movie that Batman is just phenomenal. But like in the story, you see, Thomas Wayne is there. You don't see Batman. You see Thomas Wayne's version of Batman. Cyborg is working for the government. The Amazonians and the Atlanteans are going to war. Like the scope of this story is insane. Like the world is falling apart because Barry Allen wanted to save his mom. You don't get none of that. Like none of it. He saves his mom. He's starting to run back. Dark Flash pushes him out. And then now it turns into a story of the Kryptonians are here looking for Kara because they've already killed Clark. And then that's basically it. They realize they can't beat the Kryptonians without Superman. So he tries to go back into the past to not save his mom anymore. It was a speck of what this should have been.
Sounds awful.
And it annoys the hell out of me. So at the end of the day, like
stupid plot. The movie sucks.
So I won't say it sucks. I think like if you don't know the source material or if you're not invested in the Flash or know what Flashpoints is, you'll probably watch it and be like, this movie's cool. It's a fun, definitely not the best superhero movie ever made. I don't know whoever the hell said that was on some real good shit watching this movie. But you will like it. If you are a casual movie fan or only watch movies for superheroes, I think you would probably give this movie a 7 or an 8. I think that would be valid. I give it a 5 or a 6. So like that's just where I'm at. But a lot of it has to do knowing how much they left out and how much they messed this movie up. So
that's why I like. So okay, let's name let's say, trying to think something. Plastic Man. Take all the liberties in the world you want.
Right? Yeah, like a
but
smaller hero.
Some people you can't take liberties with, and Flash is one of them, man. And now that I'm thinking ahead, I'm not gonna see this movie until I could like rent it on the TV.
I think it's gonna be. I honestly think it's going to be rentable in like less than a couple of weeks because it's doing horrible. It's doing horrible.
I'm gonna go on a rant for a second, man. Ezra Miller's trash as Flash. DC's trash for casting as Flash. DC's trash for keeping him as Flash, and DC's trash for ruining the Flash. Okay, the Flash is not some creep weirdo kid who don't have friends, not some emo twitchy loser. Okay, he's a forensic cop who works for the police, talks to people all the time, and who's awesome at being the Flash. And he don't go like this every time he's about to run.
So bad.
So stupid. And what don't make sense to me, he moves that fast, but you gotta get in a racing stance. Dog, when Flash wants to move, you don't see him. Phew, he's gone. This motherfucker. Like, what? I don't want to see this movie. And then, like you said, they make Dark Flash and him fighting himself. Where are you guys getting this shit from, man? Like, dude, you gotta a reasonable, dope bad guy. Peter Barton. He hates the Flash and wants to ruin his life forever. That's his
Forever.
main goal, to ruin his life until the day he's dead. And you couldn't put him in the movie for 3 minutes, but you make this bullshit up. So we got to see three terrible actors. You got to see this non-acting 3 times.
So
you got to loop.
The Dark Flash is older. He's been doing it for decades, like running in the same, trying to basically in this time loop for decades. So when you see him and his mask falls off, he's like a 70-year-old Ezra Miller. So it's interesting, but whatever.
Y'all put trash on the screen 3 times in one movie. That is insane.
I mean, it's doing horrible. I feel like the audience score is pretty high because of what I said, right? If you're a casual fan, it's a fun summer movie. Like, it's light. The story shouldn't be light, but it is, which is another negative. So if you watched it, you might have liked it a lot compared to me watching it, and I was like, not a great movie. But looking forward, I hope we are done with this stuff. But I don't know, Ray, because Gail Gadot saying she's in talks to come back now. After a couple of days ago, she said she wasn't. Jason Momoa's in the end credits of the movie as one of those Nexus points. So like
James Gunn just came out. Aquaman, he's gone. He's done.
So he was in the end credits, and as an explanation, basically no. So because they're crossing points that are things that happen no matter what universe in, they basically said that Aquaman is the same person no matter what universe they're in. So we'll see if they keep Aquaman.
No, he's out.
Did
you read what James Gunn put out? I think it was today or yesterday.
No.
He said the Flash, like this Flash, Aquaman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, and like say George Clooney, they're not DCU. They're a different universe. So he's saying Aquaman. He's done. Aquaman's done.
Well, yeah, because I think they want him to play Lobo. But anyways, I hope it's all done. I love Gail Gadot's Wonder Woman. I think she's amazing. Wonder Woman 3 flopped, or 2. It was 2. That movie flopped hard as hell.
Hey, that was because of damn director. I don't know what the hell she was doing.
And this movie's flopping. It's gonna lose them like $300 million. It's like at 130 million or whatever for the weekend. It was a long weekend. Yesterday was a holiday.
And they made nothing.
And there's no hype. There's no real hype, so people aren't gonna go watch it. So they'll probably lose 300 million on the movie. Hopefully that's enough to not bring.
A lot of people are boycotting Ezra Miller too. They should
I think that's the main reason. I think the main reason is because of Ezra Miller. And Warner Brothers has done the job. They don't use him to promote the movie. They don't let him talk to people. Like, he don't really do interviews. Like, even at the red carpet.
Straight up weirdo.
At the red carpet premiere, he had like a person with him that was like basically there to control him. It looked like she would like look at him. It was like super awkward. So hopefully that's it. I mean, James Gunn said I told Ray this because I don't really understand it, but he said Blue Beetle's the first character of the new DCU, but it's not the first movie. Superman Legacy will be the first movie. So I don't know if at the end of Blue Beetle, we're going to get some multiverse shenanigans where he's like moving to the real, the mainland DCU at the end of it or something. But
no, I think what he meant by that is Blue Beetle's all well and fine, but that movie was started before he came along. Now everything that comes out afterwards, he's going to oversee, double check, and ain't going to come out unless he says it's good. I think that's what he means.
I don't know how you'd like mix it in without explaining it, but we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. Blue Beetle comes out in August, so I'm super in for that.
Yeah, it's easy. He's there. He's saying, hey, this guy's here. He's a part of it, but everything going forward is going to be a little different. You know what I'm saying? But he's just letting people know that, hey, he's going to be around. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you do a Young Justice movie, got to have the Blue Beetle, baby.
Dog. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my my review of the movie and Ray's take on, without watching it, on what his feelings are. Just wanted to
Mexican.
get that kind of through, and have a conversation because I know I talked to a couple of you guys and said we would talk about it on a podcast. So there you
How do
are.
you help him?
That's the
How do you help
Flash.
him get his powers back?
Similar to the story. So Bruce
Okay.
Bruce
He
puts him in a
electrified him?
chair. Yeah, they electrocute him. There's a storm. It's always
I wish it
raining
was
in
dark like the
Gotham.
first time. He fried his
Oh, he fucked
ass.
him up. It happens. It happens. So he's on a chair. He gets electrocuted the first time with a bat kite, and it really fucks him up, but it doesn't give him his powers. And he's like, again. And then Bruce is like, the circuit board is fried. I can't. And then Supergirl shows up, uh, picks him up, flies into the sky, into the clouds, and then lightning strikes him in the sky. And then that's how he gets it back.
Oh, that seems probably dope.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, because people don't know Barry Allen heals. So that burning wouldn't be too bad if he got his powers back.
It was bad the first time. Then obviously when he gets it, it all heals away and he looks normal. So it was cool. It has anything that Batman's scene was in was fire. So thank God he's in a lot of it. So like there's a lot of fighting, a lot of flying around. You see a lot of the vehicles. You see the Batmobile, you see the plane, and they use it frequently. So I don't know. I just want to know who we're going to get to be the new Flash. James Gunn says the auditions for Superman are going really good. So
yeah, so good he hasn't picked one yet.
My biggest fear is, again, like going the diversity route when it's not needed. Like,
hey, but James Gunn don't do that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He don't.
I'm scared of it because it's just one of those things, dog. And it sounds like we're minorities, y'all. So like if we're talking about it, it's not, like coming from a racist side of the world. It's coming from create a new character or use a character. Like it's a different conversation, but still holds that weight. I don't know.
We just have a common understanding of some things, and some people can't think outside their own box or how they were raised or brought up, but it is different from us. You know what I'm saying? I have empathy in every direction and category and stuff like that. And when they do dumb shit like that, it just don't make no sense.
I'm trying to see who we can get as the Flash. Who could be the next
see,
Flash?
James Gunn is doing a Peacemaker season 2. He said right after he's done Superman, Peacekeeper 2 is what he's working on.
Sweet.
I love that show. That show's fire.
As Peacekeeper was fire.
Big ups to John Cena. Hey, big up to Chris Hemsworth, man, because he's a damn nobody when he ain't Thor. And these Extraction movies are taking off. I think he just
Extraction 2 is dope.
No, he's about to do a third one.
Yeah, it is.
So big ups to him, man.
Did you see the second one, or did you see any of them?
I didn't see none of them.
So
I'm just giving them props for them things being decent or good enough to get 3 of them.
The action is cool. The action in the second one, dog, like
besides Thor,
the kills,
nothing.
The kills in the second movie are fire, bro.
I see him kill a dude in the first movie. Like I didn't for a little bit. I want to watch it though.
It's so good. There's multiple times when I was like, oh, like just those pop kills. I was like, oh shit.
I'm gonna check that out. Oh,
it was fun.
Speaking of pop kills, the Kraven trailer, y'all. Have you guys seen it? We did.
Yeah.
The Kraven trailer. I think, like I said, like right away, like I was excited because I'm a big Kraven fan. Obviously, I know the material and stuff like that. Like people weren't big on Black Adam. I love Black Adam just because I love him and he finally got something. I would never in my million years think that Black Adam would have a movie. Same thing with Kraven. I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, they're bullshitting. There ain't gonna be no Kraven movie. And now there is, and it's done. And I mean, so we'll go with this. I haven't seen the movie yet. Watch the trailer. Look wise, it looks beautiful.
It looks good.
The origin story. The first couple seconds of that trailer, I was like, I was about to turn that shit off. This motherfucker got attacked by a lion. Then the lion's blood fell into a cut in his body and gave him animal powers. Boy, You can almost throw that fucking movie out the window right now.
When
Like,
I
that
sent
is,
it to you, I was like, I can't wait to hear Ray's take on this. I
yo,
cannot
so right
wait.
there for that, hey, that part of the trailer was god awful. And even when I go see that movie, because I love Kraven, so I'm gonna see it. I'm a sigh or say something because that is so stupid. So, oh, and that blood when it was going down and going, that's CGI. Whatever the fuck, that shit. The idea is stupid. The scene looks stupid, and I haven't even seen the movie yet. That's my take on that. That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. But then, so Kraven also has an accent. He don't have an accent. His dad has an accent.
His dad has
The
the right accent.
Who? Yo, that's what I'm saying, man. The liberties, dog. Why is it so hard to make him have an accent? But they're like, hey, guess wait, you don't have to have an accent. We'll give his dad the accent. What kind of backwards shit? I don't understand like these days with these movies, especially with Sony. When I heard they were doing it, I was like, oh well, fuck it, trash can it.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, right along with Morbius.
I bought Venom and Venom 2. They're for what they are. They stink. But I digress. I never even seen Morbius. Not gonna see that ever in my life. But Kraven, even if I think it's gonna be bad, I gotta see it because I love Kraven so much. But everything else, after he got his powers and stuff like that, seemed legit. You know,
because the scenes look cool, like how he's running, like
dude, he was running on the
shit
wall.
up. Yeah, messing with the poachers, like the kills look crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, they're anti-hearing them out. I just feel like, so we talked about it, right? When I texted you about it initially, but Zach is a huge Spider-Man fan. So anything Spider-Man, he's like super into it. So he texted me, he's like, you see the trailer? And I was like, yeah. So he like Spider-Man, Venom, like that's his shit. So he's watched all of it. He hates Morbius. Like we talked about that too. So he texted me, he was like, I'll give it a shot because he's tied to my favorite Spider-Man. But if they fucking Morbius this shit, I'm starting a petition to have Sony give the rights back to Marvel.
For real.
I was dying laughing. And then he was like, it looks cool. He was like, but they're trying to anti-hero him. It feels off. Dude, my thing is that the blood from the lion's gonna play a bigger role than we wanted to. Like, because there's other scenes where he's using animals to like, I don't know if you've noticed, but he used like an eagle or something to find someone. Like they closed in on his eye, and then you see the eagle, and the eagle's finding the person that he needs to find. And I don't know, dog.
Yeah, I don't remember having those kind of powers.
I don't know, dog.
But you see the this is what I be saying though, like Spider-Man makes really strong people look like shit. Because technically Kraven's a beast or Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, any of his villains, say whoever you're a fan of, would probably watch your favorite superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like they're nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like Kraven he's super strong, super fast, animal instinct, stuff like that. And Spider-Man makes him look like a bum 9 times out of 10. But he's actually very powerful. His move sets are dope. Like that's why I really like Kraven. But that's what I'm saying. Spider-Man on a daily basis. That's why his villains don't get a lot of shine or have their own things, because when you put them up against them, they don't, you know, it don't look too hot. You know what I'm saying? But that's why, like I said, when they talk about Morbius and Kraven and Venom coming out, I'm like, man, I'm happy these guys individually get their shine and you can see who they really are. And Sony's diarrhea shitting on all of them. It's terrible. Morbius is a cool character, deserves to be out there. He's done. You'll never see him again. And now they're about to do the same thing to Kraven. What Sony is doing is shooting out characters and I'm pretty much ending them for whatever reason they're doing.
Well, I don't know how they want to do.
Because I watched that movie. They stink. Both of them. The second one more than the first one stinks. Like, who are fans of these movies, man? And then people tell me they're a fan of Venom and tell me they like these movies. You're not. And you probably stink as well. These movies suck.
The whole Carnage thing was awful, bro.
Oh my God. Dude.
It was awful.
And you need PG-13 Carnage. Dude,
I think that's what made the movie suck. Like
Sony,
if it was rated R, they would have been changing it.
Sony as a movie company should be shut down. shut down. Fox, you too. Fox too. You
I mean,
destroyed
Fox
the
is done.
X-Men.
Disney owns Fox.
And dude, Sony is single-handedly washing the Sinister Six down the drain.
Yeah, they are.
And then he showed Rhino at the end, and like it was like morphing onto his arm.
The second most popular superhero in the world, arguably the first, and you're just killing it.
Well, he's doing fine because you can't.
But he's doing fine because of Marvel.
Oh, huh?
I mean, he's doing fine because of Marvel.
No, Spider-Man is the most famous superhero, I think, in the world.
Yeah, so between him and Batman, it depends. But like, I'm talking about because he's up there, right? Either first or second, whichever you want to subscribe to.
Yeah.
Like you're killing his gallery of rogues.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just wild. And the only reason Amazing Spider-Man didn't do well. I personally like Andrew Garfield.
You know why? Because they trashed the villain.
Yeah, Electro was
a superhero movie ain't good unless the villains are good. You murdered Hobgoblin and then you killed Electro. You threw them both in the trash. And then Rhino, I might even speak on that. We're not going to talk about that.
So
Lizard was cool. I like what you did there.
I mean, even without Marvel's inclusion of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU, I don't know where we're at with those franchises, dog. I don't know where Spider-Man's at without that.
And like Mysterio, they snapped with Mysterio using the camera thing and stuff.
No, that was
dope. I did not know where they were going with that.
No. It was cool though.
That was really cool.
I don't know.
Hey, where we at on time? My daughter's calling me.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, y'all. So we'll leave it at that. Ray has parental duties to do. So thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, you've been checking us out. One of my videos blew up, so you might be listening for the first time.
Hey, I'm gonna give my boy Brian some love because just so you guys know, like without Brian, none of this would be possible. I suck at all this shit, and he's been working his ass off to learn new things and do new things. So I just want to give him props, man. Like he's busting his ass. He goes to work every fucking day and he comes home and works more. So I just want to give him props and let him know that like I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, dog. So again,
we appreciate you guys because
yep,
we love doing this. And and man, every little thing to us is very exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll have 200 followers and it'll be 204. I'll text Brian if I see you first. He'll text me. I'm like, dude, so it all counts, man. Every like, every comment, dude, it makes us feel great. Just so you know. So like, let's keep sharing, let's keep watching, and yeah, man, appreciate it. Thank you.
Hit that subscribe, y'all. Stay nerdy,
baby.
See ya.